Hello, welcome. We're just getting started. Oh, hi. Hello, welcome. We're just getting started. It's so nice to see you. I'm getting started a little later than I intended, but you know, that's all right. You know, you overcome. All right. Just gonna start by pouring myself some tea. Hi! Hello, welcome. It's so great to see you guys. Thank you for stopping in. I'm a little nervous, but you know, I think everyone's a little nervous starting new things. I think we'll do something more simple for the design today, but I would of course love any suggestions or requests that anyone in the chat has. That's some good tea. I'm trying a new kind today. It is peppermint, sage, and lavender. It is very refreshing. Yes, it is tea. I'm a big tea fan. It is Mishimashi. It is mint, sage, and lavender tea. It's very refreshing. Oh no! I mean, I think just about every artist has drunk paint water at least once in their lives, but it's never a pleasant experience. I figured if I drank my tea out of a teacup instead of a mug, I would have I'd have a better chance of not drinking my paint water, which since I have some paints here that have lead in them, it would be nice to avoid the paint water if I can. You guys. So silly. I don't know. Maybe I will drink the paint water. We'll see how the evening goes. All right. I should start by taping this down. And I would like your guys' help. I have two kinds of washi tape here. And I want you guys to pick which one you want me to use. Yeah, isn't it strange how your phone can stay on 1% for a while? I swear, it's like a lie. When it hits 10%, it's really at 20%. It really stalls. All right, let's see. We have one vote for the pink one. Does anyone else have any preferences? All right, one vote for the blue. Oh boy, who's gonna be the tiebreaker here? Well, I think I know what I'll do. We'll put pink on the top, and we'll put the blue on the bottom. mm. You want to eat my colored pencils? Yeah, I guess they do look pretty tasty, but I wouldn't recommend eating them. You could give it a try, but I wouldn't recommend it. So, what sort of design would you like to see me do today? We could do something formal, something casual, something in between. It's really up to you guys. I want to include you however I can. Well, hello, welcome. You're just in time. Alright, looks like we have a vote for a more formal design today. Alright. Well, looks like formal it is then. I'm gonna start here by just drawing in some general shapes while I brainstorm what I'm in the mood for today. And if anyone has any requests for colors or design elements, I love a challenge, so please tell me what you're thinking. You want formal bugs? I guess I could use some insect inspiration for this piece. That sounds like fun. Let's see. Yeah, moths. I could do moths. I don't know. Weevils have been pretty popular too. Maybe I could incorporate that in like a with a mask of some sort. We'll see. So what I'm doing here is I'm making sure my proportions are correct. Generally for these fashion illustrations, you want to make sure you have a total of a total of 9 heads, and that'll give you sort of stylized human proportions. A weevil masquerade mask? Ooh, that could be fun. I think I'll do that. I see there's some weevil appreciation going on in the chat. You know, as cool as weevils are, they always scared me a little bit. I never liked their little tube mouth. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't sit well with me. I suppose before I get too far into the figure sketch, I should ask, do you guys want to see a woman's formal wear or men's formal wear or something kind of in between, something more androgynous? Alright, I vote for androgynous. I can do that. Let's see if anyone else has anything else they'd like to add before I commit to that. Alright. So that's one vote for androgynous and one for more masculine attire. So how have you all been? Have you had a good day? It's the first day of March. That's pretty exciting. Yes, Mishy Mashy, I normally do sketch the basic form of the body first. It depends, but I find having at least some uh, base to put the clothing on really helps with the design process. It informs where I put gathers and folds and where the fabric bunches. So overall, I generally do a sketch like this. What's the tea? Well, the tea is a mint, sage, and lavender tea. It's my first time trying it. I figured, you know, first time streaming. Might as well be brave and try a new kind of tea as well. It's very good. Let's see, what do I want to do with the arms? Do I want to put this one here and this one here? Yeah, I like that much better. Oh no! How did you gain those? I hope you're alright. Your brother fell 40 feet down the mountain skiing? That sounds very scary. I hope he didn't break any bones. Is he alright? Well, I'm glad your brother's alright. That sounds like it could have very easily gone very bad. Let me check something real quick. Alright. Man, it sounds like several of you are having not such good luck. I hope that doesn't carry into March as an ominous omen. The flower tin? Oh, this? Well, this very, very, very top secret tin contains... Anyone want to guess before I reveal it? Good guess, but no, it doesn't contain any drugs. More paint. We have, let me see, quinacridone pink right here, transparent yellow in the middle, and manganese blue, which, fun fact, they used to paint pools with until they discovered how toxic it was and it got discontinued. It's a very hard paint to get your hands on, but it's the most beautiful shade of blue. Thank you, Mishimashi. It is a fun paint tin. Yeah. Oh, you would like me to include the blue in my design? You know what? That could be fun. If anyone has any other color requests, please let me know. Of course, you would hope it was teeth, wouldn't you? Well, maybe next time. Gold for the second color. Interesting. I could do that. A vote for green. Well, we'll just have to see. I'm sure we'll figure out a good color palette for this fine masked weevil ball attendee. So what I'm doing now is I'm just erasing some of the construction lines that I don't need anymore. I find it's easiest to do my erasing in stages instead of waiting to do it all at once. Plus it also gives me the chance to erase some mistakes I've made. Some artists will tell you that there are no mistakes, but I don't think that's the case. I mean, with enough work you can incorporate just about anything into your design, but at the same time, you may not necessarily want to go through all that extra work. The angle on this foot is giving me some trouble. Normally I wouldn't bother, but since I have a strong vision for this design of pants, I need to get this foot to look right. There we are. Life isn't all about perfection. Sometimes it's just getting good enough, the passing grade. You need to learn to prioritize what's truly important and what's just something you have to do along the way towards what's important. Welcome back! We've just finished getting the base sketch of the design in, and now we're going to start working on the fun part. I think I'll start on the mask because that's the part that I'm most excited about. When a weevil's mouth, it feels so wrong to call it that, sort of comes down like this. It's interesting, you know, this unintentionally sort of looks like the traditional Comedy dell'arte mask of Zani, the jokester and the trickster of the productions. Weevil Doctor, yeah, I'm sort of going with a Weevil meets Plague Doctor meets Masquerade Ball idea for this. think I'm going to start by giving them a pair of boots, because what sort of masked ball goer does not have a extremely flattering pair of boots? Yeah, plague doctors are pretty cool. The masks are cool anyways. Alright, it looks like this needs to be a little rounder on the bottom. Oh no, 14 hours? You should give your feet an Epsom salt. Epsom salt soak. There we go. That's a tongue twister. Oh, you're oh, merely meep sheep. You should really, I don't know, maybe do a foot soak or give them a nice massage. Well, take care of yourself, all right? And Colorbug, you sounds like you have a very nice friend. Weevil Plague Doctor sounds very cool. Yes, it is. I don't know how to refer to you guys apart from your handles, so if it's a little bit of a shock, I apologize. Oh, it looks like we have a request for some weevil heels. Should I do something more blocky, or should I do stilettos? You guys will have to tell me. No need to worry. You can't know everything. Stiletto heels are the kind that are very thin. They're the ones that look sharp and pointy, and then ooh, you're right, I could do platforms. Do I want to do platforms or do I want to do heels? Let's see. That is a neat shaped platform. Although a heel would complement this that we have going on up here with the slender protrusion from the face, we'll call it. We'll see. I'll keep working on other parts, and we can put a pin in the shoe question. Yeah, this person does sort of look like the arch weevil. And if we're going with something inspired by Venice, we have to have a cool collar. That's just, I don't make the rules, that's just the rules. You know what? I just had a thought. Between the mask and the cloak that I'm drawing now, this reminds me a lot of Phantom of the Opera. Hmm. I cast Weevil, Sailor's worst enemy. And I think I'll add a puffy shirt because I like puffy shirts. Puffy shirts are nice. Here's the question. Do I want to... Ooh, I guess there's a thought. I like that. That's giving a nice sort of silhouette. Yeah, this is the fun part of the designing. Everything before this, honestly, can get a bit long sometimes. My opinion on Bloodborne not being ported to PC yet? Very sad. Very, very, very sad. I have wanted to play Bloodborne for years now, but I, alas, don't have a console, so playing Bloodborne has never really been a option. But if they ever do bring it to PC, I'll be very happy. Man, that's one thing I'll never stop being sad about. The fact that we as a society have decided that, you know what, cloaks, not essential. I mean, they're so essential. Just look at this. This is beautiful. How can you look at something like this and say, oh no? Well, a gaming stream when? Probably never. I am... Oh, you guys. You don't want to watch me play games, especially not scary games. I am not a good gamer, and I'm also a big baby, so I have both hands, don't you worry. Game and draw simultaneously. Ah, that would be quite the experience, wouldn't it? If I was to do that, what sort of... I'm having a hard time keeping up with chat and drawing, so we'll see. But if I was to design and play a game at the same time, what game would you guys want me to play? Space Marine 2? I haven't heard of that game before. Sounds like it could be fun though. Alright, I've decided and I'm going with heels. I think the slender curve of the heel fits the weevil inspiration better than a platform does. Subnautica, you know, I've heard good things about it. I've watched some playthroughs of that before, you know, like the classic playthroughs, Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, that sort of thing. Never finished one. I don't know, maybe I didn't get far enough into it, but I just never found it very compelling, I guess. I mean, don't get me wrong, the setting's beautiful, but I don't know, it was just never really for me. Cryptid-based fashion drawing when? Well, maybe my next stream. We'll see. I might want to do something St. Patrick's themed coming up here, but you know, I'm sure I could get around to a cryptid themed fashion illustration. Let's see. I'm really liking this design. I'm just trying to decide on what I want to do for pants. I don't really want to do anything too voluminous, otherwise you'll lose a lot of this beautiful definition that you have on the legs. Plus, if you do both loose sleeves and loose pants, you don't get too much definition on the figure, which isn't always a bad thing, but when you're going for a more ooh la la evening attire, you may want something a bit more figure forming. Hmm. Pants are normal, but it has the most extravagant belt. I could do that. The trouble is I sort of have a wide belt slash corset here already, And I'm not sure where I'd put a belt in between there, so let's see. A weevil cod piece? As tempting as it is to have a weevil cod piece, I think that would definitely get this stream demonetized, if not taken down directly. And it's my first stream, guys. Come on. I can't be demonetized already. I can't have my channel deleted already. You have no idea the things I had to do just to get verified today. That's a speed run I could do. I could speed run getting banned the fastest, although I'm sure someone would have beaten me at it. I can maybe get like a healthy 8th place though. Ruffle pants would be cool. Chainmail pants? That's a possibility, although... Yeah, scale mail pants, that's also a possibility. It wouldn't be very comfortable to wear to a ball, though. Could you imagine all the noise? That's one thing they never tell you about metal armors, just how loud it is. It is incredibly loud. Yeah, exactly. A couple streams from now, I'll be banning. I'll be speed running, getting banned. Yeah, these are actually a little bit inspired by a pair of navy pants that I have myself. They're World War II era thrifted pants that I absolutely love, and they have some of the most unique button clothing I have ever seen. Well, I think that's the sketch done. Now it's time for the fun part, adding the color. Since I've sketched this out with an orange pencil, I'll have to use overall warmer tones for the majority of this piece, but that doesn't mean I'll be completely absent of any cool colors. I remember someone said earlier that they wanted that blue as an accent, so be including that, but if anyone wanted to suggest colors earlier but didn't get the chance, now's your time to speak up again. No, he's doing the, let's see, to be or not to be, that is the question. Like if you put a skull, oh, actually, I like it. He's pondering the orb. It's very much Hamlet from Shakespeare. Make it a clump of hardtack. You see, I could do that, but the problem is, well, to answer your question, I'm pretty sure it's just spelled hard tack. H. Yeah, yeah, I think that's it. Don't, don't quote me on it though. I went into art for a reason. Yeah, I could do that, or, let me see. I think we'll just leave it there for now. The hand's not what the focus point of the sketch is. A giant weevil? Yeah, I could do that. There's just one problem with that. I don't know how to draw weevils. I draw people and maybe scenes and backgrounds on a good day, but I don't normally draw that sort of thing. Oh, an apple! I could do that. Yeah, sorry. It seems like you've joined a Weevil appreciation stream. Oh, come on, everyone. Spelling mistakes happen to everyone, especially with autocorrect. That doesn't mean they're exempt from the punishment of walking the plank, of course, but you know. I need a sip of tea to handle all this craziness. For real. I'm here just trying to give you all a nice, relaxing art stream, and you're in the chat trying to draw and quarter each other. Well, as long as you're amused, I suppose that's what matters. I think since we agreed on that blue earlier, I'm going to do a bit of a blue background. That should be pretty. Well, hey, I never said I had a problem with chaos. Yep, I am just a poor, poor child who has not means nor funds nor allocations for moderators, so I'm gonna put some trust in you all to behave yourselves. Quick, everyone, start spamming eyes in the chat to make an archangel. Yes, yes, we will create our own archangel to watch over the chat. So what I'm doing now is I'm putting down a sort of base coat over the whole piece. This isn't going to be what the actual piece's color looks like. It's just to give a sort of common color underlayer for all of the colors that I lay over this. In Photoshop or whatever drawing software people normally use, this would be something similar to laying down a base color over everything and turning the opacity way down, but unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, I am terrible at digital art, so I am, this is what I do instead. Now, while we wait for this to dry, I get to talk with you all and have some more tea. Oh, don't worry. If I could create a multiple layer, I would, but alas, I just have this one layer of paper right here. Nobody saw that. I totally did not just smudge the paint with my finger. Yes, the return of the tea. Yes, it is the infinite cut glitch. I definitely don't have a personal sized teapot of tea off camera. Mm. So you'll have to tell me, are you guys tea drinkers or coffee drinkers? Like, one has to be eliminated from the world, gone forever. Are you keeping the tea or are you keeping the coffee? Hmm. Looks like we have one vote to get rid of the coffee. I have to say I'd agree on that one. Oh, wow! Tea gang for real. Looks like everyone in the chat is agrees that tea is truly the superior beverage. Oh no, not the is soup tea debate or is tea soup debate. Hmm. Yeah, I agree that hot. Yeah, it is hard to keep tea hot sometimes, but cold tea is pretty good too. Man, I wish I could agree on the hot chocolate topic, but unfortunately, hot chocolate makes me feel sick. What? Ban matcha? No, no, you wouldn't. It's so good, and it's such a pretty color too. It's not lawn clipping soap. How could you say something like that? It is delicious and it's lovely. Yeah, for real. We have a real matcha hater in the chat, guys. Alright, well, I think this is dry enough now for me to get started on the colors, so tell me what you're thinking. I was thinking predominantly browns because most of the weevils that I've seen are brown, and then some blue accents. Looks like we have a chai appreciator in the chat. Oh, there is a weevil that's glittering green. That sounds really pretty, but hmm. Yeah, I think just about everyone can agree that chai is good. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, just some warm browns, different shades, from almost almost orangey colors to really, really deep, almost black colors would be pretty, and then with a pop of bright blue. See, now, hear me out on this one, chat. Black teas are great, but A nice cup of herbal tea before bed. Peak. Peak, because it's warm, but it's not like warm milk. So you don't have to worry about mucus and things, and yeah, nothing can beat a nice warm cup of tea before bed. I was thinking I might be super edgy and make the apple like a black color, you know, a la Snow White poisoned apple. Yeah, I wish you guys could spam cool weevils too. That would be so cool. The coolest even. You photoshopped the Boston Tea Party to be all matcha? Well, it's good to know where you stand on matcha then. That actually sounds pretty cool though, you know. I wonder if like every nation has their equivalent of the Boston Tea Party. If you know of any countries who have their own version of throwing produce into a harbor or other uh, destructive natural body in a protest of overtaxation, let me know. Oh man, the fish don't deserve the matcha? Well, some of them eat seaweed, so you know they should be fine with the matcha. The French certainly did do that to their nobility. I don't know if that counts as produce, though, but it definitely was a protest of taxation and the general economic climate of France at the time. Mm-hmm. Well, you know, I'm sure anyone who went to the Boston Tea Party expecting a real tea party was very disappointed. What kind of tea do you guys think it was? I'm gonna bet Earl Grey. Meadow tea? I've never heard of that before. What's that like? Oh, wow. Looks like we're having a little bit of a history lesson here today. Benjamin Woods Library. Is that supposed to be library? Benjamin Woods Libraries, the Boston Tea Party says that the tea ships contained 240 chests of bohea, 15 of kongu, 10 of sachong, all black teas, 6 of singlu, and 60 of singlu, and 50 of Hyson. Hyson? Both green teas. That would be a really interesting thing if, like, in Boston they did a tea tasting where you could taste the teas that all got thrown into the harbor. Not like the actual teas that got thrown into the harbor, but like those kinds of tea leaves. Your body is a machine that turns tea into kidney stones? I would hope not. Ew, drinking tea out of salt water? That sounds disgusting. I may need more salt, but I'm not about to destroy the sanctity of tea by drinking it out of salt water. You think they should just turn the whole harbor into tea? Well, I'm not saying that's a bad idea, but I'm also saying the Boston Harbor is oh no, you put salt into tea instead of sugar once? That sounds awful. The salt water is British orphan form tears. I never knew. I have never tasted tea the exact same way again. Yeah, I'd imagine after putting salt in your tea, you may not be able to taste it the way that you once did. I, for one, wouldn't be able to. Yeah, it is weird that happened twice. If you got a nickel every time you got told that you look like a British orphan, you'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. Man, do people these days still watch Phineas and Ferb? I remember watching that as a kid. Ah, so you are often covered in coal and soot or eating gruel. Uh, I think we've got to the bottom of why people keep mistaking you for a British orphan there, merely meep sheep. Nope, I did not watch SpongeBob. I was not allowed to watch SpongeBob when I was a kid. My parents thought it was too juvenile. But, look at me now. No, don't look at me now. I recently tried watching some modern SpongeBob, and I'd heard things about it, not good things, of course, but I thought, oh well, it can't be that bad. I'll watch it anyway. Oh, you've never watched SpongeBob either? Well, I feel less alone then. Yeah, that's the common opinion is that new SpongeBob is garbage. Hey. Yeah, it looks like you might be behind enemy lines here. Either that or you might be, how do I put this? A bit more mature than everyone else in the chat, a bit later on in years. If everyone else here has not watched SpongeBob, but you have. Then again, it may just be. No, I smudged it. It may just be different homes having different rules about what TV you're allowed to watch. My mom cried in the theaters while watching the SpongeBob movie. Really? I'm surprised. I've never seen it. Um, uh, Maybe I'll have to add it to a movie list at some point. Yeah, is it sad? Is the SpongeBob movie sad? I haven't seen it, so I couldn't say. Oh, your cat's enjoying the stream. Yes, transparent puffy sleeves. They're a staple of my design elements. I love nothing more than a nice silk chiffon sleeve. That way, if you are a bit more of a modest person or going somewhere where it's a little chilly or sunny, sunburns are no joke either. You can have nice skin coverage and UV protection, but also have something that doesn't necessarily feel too stuffy or prudish. Yeah. morning, Meep Sheep. You did 3 shows today? Well, yeah, that sounds like a lot. If you, need to take a rest, please, by all means, get your sleep. Sleep is very important. And, if you have more shows coming up, break a leg. If not, I'm sure you did great. Your cat is static electricity? Like, is their fluff getting all puffed out, or is, are they like a little Pikachu? Oh, uh, well, thank you so much for tuning in, Merely Meep. It was lovely to have you. I hope you get lots of rest, and, I hope your cat doesn't, give you an electric shock in your sleep. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and I hope you have a good night's rest. Hmm. You know, I feel like brown is often a overhated and overlooked color. I mean, sure, the first things that you think of when someone says brown may not be the most savory things in the world, but, um, I mean, chocolate's brown and chocolate's nice. And, um, acorns are brown. Acorns are a lovely shade of brown. That's sort of the russet sort of brown I'm trying to go here. Oh, you want to eat chocolate now? Yeah. Yeah, chocolate does sound nice. Hmm. Yeah, you should. You should eat some chocolate if you can. Never miss out on an opportunity to eat chocolate. That's what I say. Well, you could have like a small piece of chocolate. It doesn't have to be a whole lot of chocolate. Painting around small details is always tricky, but I refuse to change to my smaller brush. Yeah, sorry, spooky ghost. It looks like you're getting peer pressured into eating chocolate. Mm-hmm. Yeah, color bug. I am sort of being inspired by an acorn weevil. I mean, I'm sure there are lots of other incredible weevils, but the acorn weevil is the first thing that I think of when I think of a weevil, so that's sort of the inspiration I wanted to go for here. Just darkening up the color a little bit now so we can have some contrast between the cloak and the main body figure. In all design, not just fashion design, contrast is one of the most critical things there is. It's what makes a design, it's what makes or breaks a design. What color will the apple be? I'm not sure yet. I was thinking I might make it black or like a dark color, but we'll see. We'll see. Do you have any suggestions for what color the apple should be? Red? Yeah, I could do red. Ooh, or maybe I should do green. Just try not to detract too much from the outfit. At the end of the day, the outfit is what we're here for, not for any of the props. We'll see. I'll think on it. I'm sure the correct color, whatever it may be, will come to me in time. Yeah. Well, spooky. I'm not saying that props aren't important. All I'm saying is that when people look at fashion illustrations, generally what's most important about it is the illustration, is the fashion part of it. Everything else is rather secondary. Not always, there are exceptions of course, but as a general rule, the design is what's most important. That's what you really want to show off. You think the clothes are nummy? Well, I am so glad that you are enjoying the clothes. It's always so exciting adding the base colors for something. It's a little nerve-wracking too, though. Once you get to adding in shadows and things, generally I find that I feel a little less nervous. No matter how many times I do it, there's always this fear of ruining the piece, but you keep going and you work with what you have. You make mistakes sometimes, but you push through, and at the end you almost always end up with something that you're happy with. color bug. I saw this TikTok about fashion history. Apparently people used to wear dead bugs as fashion. I don't know if that was real. Yes, that is a real thing. There's a certain sort of beetle that has beautiful green and blue iridescent elytra, you know, the outer wings. They're just gorgeous. And they also have a very short lifespan, so people would humanely raise them, and then when they passed away naturally, which didn't take very long, they would then harvest their wings and sew them onto clothing the way that we sew, beads or sequins onto things now. And they were very beautiful. They looked a lot like, again, like sequins. They were like a older version of sequins, and they got especially popular during the Victorian era. There are some beautiful extant garments at the Met, I believe, that have them, and man, they're just gorgeous. I think I'll make the mask white and blue. I think that sounds really pretty. Plus, it's unexpected. You generally see these masks done in super dark colors, so doing them in something a little lighter sounds exciting. Good night, Colorbug. Thank you so much for watching the stream. I'm sure it will go well. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have a good evening. Just mixing up some more brown to do a second coat on this cape. That's something that's very important with working with traditional mediums, especially with watercolor. Well, you know what? It's important in digital art too, is remembering to work in layers. You know, you can't always get something exactly where you want it with one coat or one layer of anything. Sometimes having a second coat is exactly what you need to deepen colors without layering the paint on too thick. There we are. Now to do the other side. I really like this brown. It's a brown you don't see very often, but it's very beautiful. Reminds me a lot of chocolate actually, or of like a really dark antique wood. I wish it's the color people were brave enough to use more often. Maybe I'll have to incorporate it in my designs more. There we are. Now, while I let that dry, I'm going to get a bit more tea. I'm having trouble deciding what color to make the boots and the corset belt. I mean, originally I was going to make them some shade of brown, but I'm honestly liking the white a little bit now. But at the same time, the white reminds me a little bit more of a 1960s look rather than like a weevil goes to a gala. And that's the last cup of tea for the evening. Dark blue on the boots. Yeah, I could do that. Although I would be a little worried about it being too much blue in the design. We'll see. I'll see how the cloak looks once it's dry, then I'll decide on what color I'll make the boots. In the meantime, I will ever so slightly adjust this character's skin color so that the light chiffon color of the sleeves is more apparent. Just a few shades really can make the world of difference when designing something. They can take something from being not quite right to just perfect. Yeah, the boots are definitely distracting the way they are now. I'm losing the collars. I'm losing the sleeve cuffs a little bit in the design, so I'm going to make those blue as well. A little extra blue never hurt anyone. And then I'm going to paint the edges of the corset belt in blue as well. It's really interesting. Up until modern times, the slender waist was the thing to have. It didn't matter if you were a man or a woman. That's why when you look at medieval armor, it's got that really cinched waist. It's called a wasp waist, and yeah, at the time, the similar time to cod pieces actually, it was thought that having a slender waist was a very masculine thing to have. That's got to be one of my most favorite parts about fashion design, is seeing how trends change throughout the years, and how what can be very fashionable during one time can be completely replaced with something else. Now I'm mixing up this sort of bluey purple color to add some shading to the white of this shirt. Something very interesting. Shadows aren't, it took me the longest time to learn this too, shadows aren't a uniform gray. They are sort of an amalgamation, or not an amalgamation, but sort of a representation of whatever color they're going over. If they're going over something very light, they'll be very light. If they're going over something very dark, then they will also be very dark. As soon as I get the shadows in here, all I have to do is ink this piece and then it's done. First ever piece done on Livestream, that's exciting. And thank you to everyone who's tuned in to watch, whether it be just for a little bit or for the whole stream. You're all appreciated and have just made the time fly by. Oh, thank you so much. I'm so happy to hear you think it's the perfect first stream. I think so too. I couldn't have imagined it going any better. think I'll try a lighter brown for the boots and for the waist, or for the corset, and if I don't like it, I can always change it to a dark blue or something else. That looks a bit gray. Oh, I'm liking that. It doesn't immediately grab the eye, but it's still different enough that the eyes can distinguish it from the cloak and from the pants. That's something that's important, especially when you're working with a limited color palette, is making sure that things still stand out and you have a clear indication of what's a boot, what's a pant, and what's part of the cloak, or whatever it may be that you're styling. Get back here, Mr. Tape. You're not done yet. You've still got a few more minutes of work time before you get to clock out for the day. Alright, well, while I'm still waiting for the cloak to dry a little bit, I'm gonna get a little more tea. There's nothing quite like a nice cup of tea. Tea is not so nice when you get it down the wrong pipe, though. Well, oh, I almost forgot the apple. How could I do that? How could I do that? a green color would be nice. I don't want it to be too overwhelmingly green, but or maybe I should do red. You know what? Since one of you suggested doing red, I will take that suggestion and make it red. There we go. That's a nice red color. I like that. That's fun. Just adding some shading to the skin while I wait for the cloak to finish drying enough that I can start with the final step of the process. Shouldn't take too long. In fact, I think I can start now. I'll just do the cloak last. Alright, I have my inking pen here, and I'm just going to go around and embellish important design elements. Makes it clearer for the eye. And now I find not always doing a connected line, but doing a variation of longer and shorter strokes makes an overall less harsh looking design. That's of course just personal preference, but it's something that I find can really make all the difference with a piece. This is always my favorite part of the design. Everything's done and I just get to go in with my pen and make everything look sharp and pretty, and all the designs I've been working on for the past few hours are all suddenly so much clearer. There couldn't be a better feeling. Man, for some reason this pen doesn't seem to be liking the manganese blue very much. I'll have to remember that for the future. It's not a big deal, but it's worth remembering. It's always important to keep track of when something works, and even more importantly, when something may not work. There we go, I got it working up again. Strangest thing. Oh well, it happens. Improvise, adapt, and overcome, as they say. think this area is still a little wet. No matter, you can always work on other sections while you're waiting for something to dry. Alright, Mishy Mashy, thank you so much for watching. Yeah, it is getting a bit late. I'm almost done. And thank you so much for the company tonight. Huh. Oh, thank you, Mishy Mashy. I'm looking forward to being able to share the finished piece. You know, there isn't nearly as much contrast between these lines and the dark brown as I would have hoped. So what I'm going to do is, once I finish the inking, I'm going to go in and add a little bit of shadow, and I don't normally do that, but my art, my rules. If I say it needs a little bit more shadow, then I'll add a little bit more shadow, you know? No, no real sweat there. And I think that's everything. Oh no, I almost forgot the boots. The boots have been the problem child of this entire stream, I swear. But I think they've turned out all right, if I do say so myself. Let's see, I think that's everything inked. Now I just have to add those shadows in, and that will be the end of the stream. I would like to thank everyone who's still watching for tuning in, and everyone who tuned in to watch. Thank you very much. It wouldn't have been the same without you, and you've all just made my first stream so happy and memorable. It really means the world to me, so thank you. I'm sure this is the case for most artists, but adding the finishing touches is always my favorite. There's just something so satisfying about knowing that you have most of the work behind you and are just adding the final little bits and pieces to make it perfect. And that's something that I quite enjoy. Oh, look at me. I almost forgot to add the green of the apple stem. Imagine that. And I call myself a professional. There we are. Much better. Crisis averted. A little bit of shadow for our apple friend. And while I'm at it, I'll color in the flesh of the apple a little bit. There we go. And then I believe that is everything. Once again, I'd like to thank everyone for watching, whether it was for the entire stream or just for a few minutes. Your involvement really makes all the difference, and I couldn't imagine doing this without you all, so thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had as lovely of a time as I did, and I'll see you in my next stream, which will be at 6 o'clock Standard Central Time next Friday. So if you can make it, that's great. If not, there's no worries. Everything I stream here will be archived in its entirety to my YouTube, and I'll also be uploading shorts of the process as well. So once again, thank you all so much for joining me this evening. I hope you had as pleasant of a time as I did, and I will see you all next week. Bye-bye.